I want you to think about discipline not as control or as domination, submission, or giving your power away, but as containment. Discipline as containment. It is a form of restriction that is meant not to control you, but actually help you advance, help you grow. It is focusing your powers, the mental powers, the physical powers, into a few things only, instead of being scattered. So this quality of containment is actually one of the most important qualities that balance out feminine energy. The beautiful thing is that a method like the Ashtanga Yoga system that determines when you inhale, when you exhale, which movements are associated with inhalation, exhalation, which drishti points are, it's a fantastic container. I want you to think about something. Swami, it's one of the goals of yoga, becoming a Swami, a wise person, wise woman, wise man, any other gender, for yourself. Now, how is this accomplished? Honestly, most of us are so deeply conditioned and so blind to our attachments and our aversions and our inclinations that many of them do not lead to wisdom. And so this is a role of discipline, which we don't like to acknowledge, but this is the key role of discipline, introducing this daily restriction, not as a form of control, but as a form of refinement, so that our perception can be more and more accurate, thus becoming wise people.
I think that's a danger that I see in spiritual communities. Now, I'm not talking about Ashtanga community only, but generally, I love spiritual communities, is that we somehow are longing for finding a teacher that we can follow.
Yeah.
And sometimes, being an observer of spiritual communities, it feels that we are just kind of longing for giving away our power somehow and hoping that person that we are following will somehow be able to fulfill perhaps some void in us. And that has always kind of scared me not scared me, but that has always kind of kept me away from communities when I have been feeling that the relationship to the person that is supposed to be the leader is starting to become unhealthy. And I think that this has been happening in all the kind of spiritual community that I have been observing, not only Ashtanga,
Yeah.
Somehow we are creating a situation. I don't say that the person always want to have it, like kind of the main person, but somehow
it's a burden for them.
Sorry?
It is a burden for them many times. This month I want to discuss something really important about teachers and students, student-teacher relationship. I would like you to start thinking of the teacher not as a peer, not as a friend, not as a therapist, not as a companion. The teacher is not holding your hand. The teacher is not a guru either. It's not someone to be put on a pedestal or to give your power to. The teacher as a custodian of a method, for instance the Ashtanga Yoga method, a method that serves people. This is of the utmost importance. The service happens indirectly through the method, not directly within the teacher-student relationship. Otherwise, distortion and confusion usually comes up. If you wish to read, this article is released on January the 5th in the evening. There's a tendency we have as yoga students and teachers. It's just this half-cooked knowledge. We adhere to these beliefs of oneness, merging with something bigger than yourself, realizing that we are not separate, enlightenment. But how many people do really exist in that reality? How many people can claim a true experience of it? Some years ago, I promised to myself that I would not speak about things I would have not experienced. And so I do not experience any of those things on a regular basis. However, I think yoga practice is very much about self-mastery, in the sense that it helps you have a certain degree of say over your body, especially control your senses of perception, so your mind can turn to the seeking of truth instead of deception.
Being compassionate to myself, my inner talk has completely changed to how it used to be. And I will also, if the previous inner talk creeps in, I notice it and I'm like, let's reword that. Whereas before I probably would have just continued like compiling maybe like an inner bully. Like when one of them had said one sort of nasty thing, like, oh, hobbling around on your knee today, the next like bigger bully would have chimed in and been like, no surprise. And it probably would have just snowballed. And I think I just lived with this dialogue without knowing how toxic it was. I just like listened and didn't disagree until yoga was like, you can really love yourself and you can love certain things and we've all got flaws. And I was like, oh, wow, do we? Do other people think they do? Because I think that's the other thing. You get so drawn into your own drama that you forget that everyone has a lot of...
Only give when the giving hand is no longer yours. I'll repeat this one more time. Only give when the giving hand is no longer yours. This means that goodness is not something to be performed. It is not something you do for other people to see. It is something that you are. According to many spiritual traditions and religions, goodness is actually a part of humans. Contrary, for example, to doctrines like canonical Christianity that considers humans as being inherently sinful. Many traditions, for example, early Christianity, paradoxically, considered humans as innately good. So, a huge part of our spiritual task is to connect with this goodness, this inherent goodness. Are you empowered or are you resistant? We are empowered when you are acting from discernment. Discernment is steady wisdom that comes from experience. And you are resistant when you are ruled by patterns that many times are unconscious and that make you unteachable and that don't let you grow. And so many times in yoga spaces we think, I'm in my power, but what you're actually doing is resisting any type of authority, any type of guidance, and any type of suggestion to improve and to work more efficiently. We need to be very alert of this distinction, because my experience is that the lines are blurring more and more, and this is doing a disservice to teachers and students. Today I want you to think of discipline not as a burden or not as something designed to control you or for you to give your power away, but rather discipline seen as containment. This quality of containment is very much about conserving energy, using your energy wisely instead of being scattered and confused, being able to focus your energy, your efforts. Energy is in the body, it's in the mind, into a few things only. And so the Ashtanga Yoga system is a fantastic container to help you do this. It is a masterpiece. It doesn't mean that you need to become rigid or dogmatic. It simply means that you need to become responsible and accountable. You practice with integrity, not for the sake of a system, but for the sake of your own human and spiritual development.